We have a wannabe lumberjack with a chainsaw and a stock Jeep on the loose, turning every trail into a highway, and it's time we talk about it. So when I first got back into the off-roading space, I didn't have anyone to go wheeling with. I went on a few Facebook group chats and asked around, and I had a gentleman reach out to me. He was very intrigued and wanted to go wheeling with me, getting to know me. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to refer to him as the Lorax. Seems like a pretty fitting name to me. So I went out wheeling with the Lorax a few times, and at first he seemed like a pretty good guy. He was very adamant and passionate about sawzalls. He always had sawzall blades and a lot of sawzall batteries. And I kind of figured, all right, a little bit of an alternative to a chainsaw, not a big deal. Turns out he loves putting his sawzall to work. After a few trips, I figured that out. There was one particular trip, we got into a little trail and it weaved up through the trees. And it was an icy day, it had been just snowing, a little bit of rain coming down, and the whole trail was turning into ice. Unfortunately, the Lorax was leading the way. We had about 10 rigs, and he proceeded to cut down about 10 to 12 trees, or about this big around. And that put a very sour taste in my mouth. You don't do that. We all could have fit if we just put our brains together and used snatch blocks and just acted as a team. We would have made it through the trail. And that's the beauty of off-roading and the beauty of going out with a group, is you can all work together to overcome challenges in front of you. But unfortunately, the Lorax turned to sawzalling to get around this problem. So I distanced myself from him, didn't bring him on the channel anymore, and have since moved on. I've been wheeling with Colin lately, which has been fantastic. So if you're watching this, Colin, I've definitely enjoyed wheeling with you. You have respectable trail manners, and everyone I've wheeled with you has good trail manners. But this is where the story gets a little more interesting. So about a week or two after I went my own way, I seen the Lorax had posted on his Facebook page that he got a chainsaw, and it was a real game changer. And I kind of knew there what his intentions were with the chainsaw. They're awesome pieces of kit if you use them correctly for gathering firewood off of deadfall, if any trees fall across the trail, leaving you stranded in windstorms, etc. They're a fantastic piece of kit. Not a kit that should be used for widening trails, in my opinion. If the trail is established, it's there, and clearly other people have been fitting down it. If you can't manage to get through it with your rig, either be prepared to take body damage or be prepared to turn around. But as to make it wider and turn it into a highway for Suburbans to fit down, that's not acceptable in my opinion. Anyways, me and Colin, a month or two back, we ran a trail called Granite Dunes. Now, Granite Dunes is a grandfathered in trail. It is one that's been there for quite a while, and it hasn't changed. I don't know how long ago it was built. There is no stumps on the trail. It is just very rocky, and it weaves through the trees, and it's very tight. So when we ran it, I had my rooftop tent with my crossbars, and I managed to sneak past all the trees. And Colin had his canopy camper, and so he's very long, and it's just as tall as my Jeep. And any place that we couldn't fit and his camper started rubbing, or any place that I couldn't fit, it was take another line, scoot around, figure it out. And with Colin, it was running a snatch block and actually pulling the back of his Jeep sideways to pivot around the tree, which worked out. We ended up running the entire trail and didn't take any body damage. So if a Gladiator can fit and a four-door Jeep can fit with a rooftop tent, then another four-door JL can fit with no camping setup. And the Lorax doesn't have a camping setup on his Jeep. And so I heard from Colin on Friday that the Lorax was planning on running Granite Dunes. And this was alarming for me. I wasn't sure what he was going to do to the trail. Unfortunately, some images and videos have surfaced of what has happened to Granite Dunes since the Lorax ran it. And being the Lorax, he put his chainsaw to work. And there's clearly 3 trees that are freshly cut. You can see the sawdust just at the base of the tree from when he ran it. We have had rain in the past couple days, so there's no chance that it was someone else. It was for sure the Lorax. And that was just from that little portion of trail I can see. I have no idea what the rest of the trail looks like. I'm sure there's been many more, which is extremely unfortunate. And there's another trail that we ran a few months prior to that again, and I'll show you right here. This is the one spot where it was a little off cambered and there was a big hole. So it was a matter of taking your time and wheeling slow. And you can see just up in the corner, some more trees were just freshly cut before this video was taken, and they were stacked in the hole to make it a little easier. Again, I'm assuming it was the Lorax. It looks pretty fresh. So these actions that are being taken, and the Lorax following us around on the island, and looking at local trails that everyone loves and drives and enjoys their time in the backcountry. It's unfortunate that he is following in their tracks and deciding that the trail needs to be wider because he's scared to get close to the trees, which is all part of wheeling on the island, in my opinion. You have to be willing to take some body damage to wheel here. Now, the trails on the island are known for being tight. It is part of our trail network. We live in a temperate rainforest, and our forests are very thick, so it makes for very tight wheeling. And that's what makes part of the wheeling on the island special, is the challenge. It's hard to navigate our trails. So seeing that our trails are being widened on purpose by a madman with a chainsaw on a mission to make everything a highway isn't okay. It's only going to lead to more trail closures. We're going to lose more access, and we're going to lose more trails. And if you're watching this wherever you are, I'm sure you're not this type of person that is widening trails. And if you are wheeling with someone that is widening trails, speak up. Let them know that it's not okay. It goes completely against one of the core rules of tread lightly is to not leave a trail wider than the way you found it, and to stay on the trail. So I'm going to leave it at this. Remember to take the time to get a little lost, and please do it by leaving the trail the way you found it. I'll see you on the next adventure.